In more tangible news, there was also another fire. We talked, I think, last time or the time before about the fire at the BAE shipyard, of which we've heard remarkably little. Certainly, I've heard remarkably little about since. Perhaps again, unsurprisingly, but there's been another fire in Japan.
Yeah, look, I think so. It looks like there's been probably the loss of one Japanese sailor, not exactly confirmed at this stage, but a fire did break out early this week on a Japanese mine, the Fukushima minesweeper. So off the coast of Japan, it was getting ready for a large mine warfare exercise with the US. It looks like it's caught fire with the fire originating in the engine room. There is some imagery online of it quickly engulfing the ship, and the ship has subsequently sunk. Which is sad, and sad to see what is potentially the loss of life of a Japanese sailor. There has been some questions more broadly about the tempo at which the Japanese Navy and Defence Force more broadly have been operating at, and whether that has been the cause of some of the accidents that we won't go into detail, but of course they had some significant loss of life with some helicopter accidents. Recently there was also a Coast Guard plane. And so there is a broader question about this. We don't really know, and I think you can't really speculate except to say that, it is sad to see the loss of life of a Japanese sailor. I think it does probably draw our attention back to kind of mine warfare capabilities, though, which certainly in the event of a conflict in the Indo-Pacific would be considered pretty critical. And there's been some recent reporting about some estimates on China's ability to deploy mines in the Taiwan Strait very, very quickly. And of course, mines are actually really, really easy to deploy. And we did see announced in the last, I think, 24 hours that HMAS Gascoyne, which is one of Australia's Huon-class minehunters, has just entered Sydney Heads for the last time, and they will be decommissioning on the 5th of December. So there is a real question about Australia's mine warfare capability. Now, of course, these are very old ships, the Huon-class minehunters. There are currently 3 in service, with HMAS Huon having decommissioned early this year. I think Gascoyne was commissioned in about 2001, so it's about 23 years old. But once Gascoyne decommissions in December, there will only be 2 left, which is Diamantina and Yarra, which were both commissioned, I think, 2002, 2003, so it's certainly likely to be decommissioned soon. And we know from the announcement in the Integrated Investment Program, or the subsequent clarification for the Defence Industry Minister in May this year, that the planned replacement will not involve vessels. So it'll be some sort of autonomous capability that is meant to be launched from a vessel of opportunity, which is a term that we hear a lot these days. There's not a lot of vessels of opportunity because not many vessels flagged to Australia. But I think there's a broader thing there about the importance of mine warfare capability, and really a question that hasn't been answered in terms of the future of Australia's mine warfare capability as well.
Yep, and I think, as you say, it's a really important kind of area, one that notably the US doesn't pay huge amounts of attention to, and there's often concern within the US Navy that this is not an area which they kind of really focus on. In fact, one of the few nations around that does pay a lot of attention to this is Japan. So that element of it is quite interesting. I was quite intrigued by your suggestion that these are very old ships. By the standards of the Australian Navy at the moment, commissioning in 2001 it's not that old, but maybe that says more about the RAN currently than anything else.